All right, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I get approval of the agenda, please?
So moved?
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. First up on the agenda, we have Student Council. Hey, welcome.
Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm the e-board president.
I'm Lindsay. I'm the e-board treasurer.
I'm Katie. I'm the e-board vice president.
So recently we had our charity week, and we were very successful. We raised $7,166.
That's great.
Thank you. So we were able to give $3,583 to each of our charities, which were Downriver Foster Closet and Detroit Dog Rescue. It was a lot of fun. Our most successful events were the volleyball tournament, the two-ball tournament, and we had a student breakfast on Monday. So they were successful overall.
Congratulations.
So right now we're in the process of elections for next year's council. So our application forms and videos that officers have to make to promote themselves, they're all due tomorrow. And we went to the middle school last week to talk to the incoming freshmen, so the 8th graders right now, and tell them about like what student council is like at the high school. And we told them just like kind of what the benefits are and like how fun it is and what it's gave us, like friendships, opportunities, leadership. And so we talked to them about the election process too. So hopefully we'll get a good amount of participation there. And yeah, interviews are going to be happening soon.
Okay, our next event is Teacher Appreciation Week, which is the week of May 6th. Every year we buy them lunch, and then every day we give them a gift or like do something for them, and that's what we're deciding on right now. Is that all? I think that's it.
Yeah, that's pretty
Thank
much
you.
it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, we will move on to public participation. Do we have any this evening? No? Okay, hearing none, we'll go on to presentations. First up, we're going to hear about the Washington, D.C. trip, and I'll invite Mr. Tromka and the students to come on up.
So we have a presentation here from the 8th graders. Here we have Connor, Emma, Olivia, and Delia. They put a little presentation together of kind of how the week went.
8th grade, Washington, D.C., made by Emma Starosic, Connor O'Donnell, Delia Brooks, and Olivia Perez.
All right, on day one, we arrived at the middle school around 4 a.m., and then around 6:30, we left for D.C. We arrived in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and then we went to our hotel just outside of Washington, D.C. And then on day two, we went to the National Cemetery, and we took our group photo outside the U.S. Capitol. We also went on an Alexandria colonial ghost tour, and we went and visited the MLK, Jefferson, and FDR memorials.
Vietnam Memorial Wall. During class time before we left for the D.C. trip, each student worked on an artifact to put next to a fallen Vietnam soldier's name on the wall. The soldier that they made an artifact on was chosen by the student in class.
Here are some photos from the trip, or these are from the first 2 days. So these are some of the monuments we saw, and then down at the bottom corner you can see a picture from the ghost tour that we got to go on in, yeah. Day 3, March 13th. Day 3, we arrived at the National Zoo to look at all the animals. We went on the National Cathedral guided tour, and we visited the Holocaust Museum. And then we went to Smoky Glen Farms for dinner which was like a farm where we got to like play sports and just like hang out with our friends and really just like enjoy the experience being in DC. So here's some of the photos. That's a photo up there at the corner. That's of the White House, and then the rest are of the cathedral and the zoo.
Day 4, March 14th. On Thursday, we went to Mount Vernon, which was an amazing tour. And after we visited the Smithsonian Museums, the U.S. Botanic Garden, and Pentagon City Mall for some dinner and shopping. Then after, we did the night tours.
So here's some photos from day 4 at the Smithsonian's and of the night tour. You can just see like all the amazing monuments and stuff that we got to see and Mount Vernon. And then here's some more photos.
On day 5, March 15th, we got to visit the U.S. Naval Academy, which was honestly an amazing opportunity for every single student. We got to explore the life in the Navy, which was amazing, but we also got to learn about the type of education that they used, which was also very fascinating. And then after that, we went to visit the city of Annapolis in Maryland. And then after that, we arrived back at the middle school.
Here's some more photos at the Naval Academy. These are like some of the buildings that they had around the campus. And yeah. These are some quotes that we got from ourselves and students. So this is, so the DC trip was an exciting experience for us all that we've all been waiting for. And if you get the opportunity to go, you should, because it's it's these memories that last.
I said I love the amazing opportunities that this trip brought me.
I said that the trip was a great way to spend time with my close friends and connect with them.
I said that I loved the whole trip, but the farm was awesome because we got to relax and hang out with our friends and kind of like go off on our own for the first time in DC. So that was fun.
Here are some student quotes that we got from other kids around the school.
Joshua and Jonick said it was a good experience to hang out with friends. Emma Bates said DC is a great experience. If you are able to go, you should definitely go because it's a lot of fun.
Jessie Clay said, go to DC. It's an amazing experience. You will have a lot of fun. Eliza DeGuro said, DC is fun. And then finally, Isaac Chalky said it was really fun and I learned a lot about the history of the country. Thank you for this amazing trip. We talked to many kids in our grade, and they all agreed this trip was amazing. We all gracefully appreciate you guys for approving this trip. We learned so much history while exploring the amazing, beautiful city of Washington, D.C. Without the school board, we wouldn't be able to have this memorable experience. Thank you. And we also did want to point out, while we were in D.C., we got a letter from West Lauderdale Middle School, which Delia is passing out now.
It's basically a letter of a principal saying that like how amazing that we were on the trip and that they noticed us and like how respectful we were.
This was really powerful. Do you want to speak to this just a little bit, Mr. Trumka? Will you give the board a little background on this?
So there was a principal from Mississippi, and he noticed our students at actually the Holocaust Museum. If you haven't been there, it was, it's just a really powerful experience. And he thought about taking his kids on the trip and was actually there with his son. I think he was about in 5th grade, and just really wanted to say how well behaved our kids were, how respectful they were. They were actually paying attention to everything, not just walking through the museum, but really reading everything, understanding what was going on. And he reached out to me specifically. He asked some of the chaperones, who's the principal here, and wanted to specifically speak and just say thank you, and just how amazing all of our kids were, and just how we've really put this trip together in the past. So we kind of had a little bit of chat based on that. So and then he wrote the letter. So we just really thank you guys. Without your support, we wouldn't be able to do this every year. It's a big deal. Miss Park, Miss Lamentine do an amazing job running it, so I want to make sure we give them a shout out. They put countless hours into it. All the parents that attend the trip, it was just excellent, and we just really want to thank everybody. So thank you very much.
I would expect nothing less, but this is nice validation. You guys also might have had like the nicest weather in the history of this trip.
That I think ever.
That doesn't hurt, yeah.
Mr. Trumka, when he asked to speak to the principal, what was your initial reaction?
Pointing to Audrey, I was like, she's- no, but it was really cool. Like I said, he was there with his son, kind of pre-doing the trip, so it was a nice experience.
Kudos, because that's really important. And he didn't need to take the time to write that letter. So, and you guys, you made Groseal proud. So, good for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for being here. All right, next I'm going to invite up Ms. Deshawn, who's going to talk with us about the innovation and entrepreneurial program that just happened.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having us. I also have Nick, if you want to come on up, and Stella, if you can stay there if you want to, or whatever is more comfortable for you. Before I have them speak a little bit about their experience, I just wanted to front load the class. Okay. Just wanted to tell you a little bit about the course. This is the first year for the Innovation and Entrepreneurship course at the middle school. And of course, I teach this and am the Student Advancement Coordinator at the high school. Just a little bit of background on the Invention Convention curriculum. There are 17 preloaded lessons that the students work on before they jump into the invention process. And so there's a high level of accountability in regards to project-based learning, hands-on experiences. The teacher is truly just a facilitator there to really assist the kids in their building, and everything is student-driven. And so students are required to not just build their prototype, but identifying their problem, brainstorming, researching their ideas, communicating their learning, and then, of course, having our gallery-style inventor showcase, which Nick and Stella will talk about in just a moment. While there are so many valuable lessons to be learned from the course from the perspective of an invention process, the main thing that we stress is that if you walk away with nothing else, it's truly those transferable skills that you'll use in all facets of your high school and adult life, where you're effectively talking to adults and advocating and managing and working through and coping ups and downs, because that was all part of their invention work as well. And so by participating through the Invention Convention program, Groseal Schools is under the umbrella of the Wayne State Innovators, and they were our regional hub that we competed in for our regional competition, and they were our very generous sponsors in the participation of the program as well. And so students, of course, came in with ideas of what they wanted to build for their prototypes, but the big stress was making sure that, really thinking about the problems that you want to solve and then work backwards. So really be very self-aware and pay attention to what kinds of design flaws exist, what kinds of things that, do kids perceive that maybe adults don't always notice that they can help solve with some of their inventions. And so in the beginning of the class, just gave them a little bit of inspiration, showing them some examples of student work that were at the national level last spring. And so there was a group that put together this was from the National Invention Convention last year at Henry Ford. This, just one quick example, this was a cute doggy door that the dog walked through, and it kind of looks like a car wash type material, and it was hooked up to a vacuum. So when the dog went in and out of the dog door, it sucked the dander and the dirt and the dust off of the dog. So kind of showing them some of the examples of what other students had, presented, just to give them some inspiration. And so then, of course, we start building by students putting together just a shopping list of some of the materials that they might like to acquire, some stuff that they're bringing in from home, but certainly we want it to be very much student-driven, look like it's student-created. It doesn't have to be, very high-tech or very expensive, and pretty much all of our supplies were purchased at the dollar store. And then we also had some community supplies that the students could use. And then as soon as they get those supplies, they're very excited to start doing their designing and their building and their problem solving. And some are working independently and some are working in groups. These are some pictures from this semester, but certainly last semester in Nick and Stella's group, they were doing the same work as well. And then last semester, we invited in Mr. Mike, our custodian, and he kind of walked around and helped troubleshoot some stuff with the kids, and they bounced some ideas off of him. So that was a really cool, engaging way to bring in some community partners. And then, of course, we had our grand finale presentation at the board office in January. And students had an opportunity in a gallery style to present to their parents and community members. And that was a great experience. And so with that in mind, we had community judges. And we ended up tabulating our totals using the Invention Convention rubric. And so our top winners for our school, of course, were Nick and Stella in first and second place. And then we had our third through sixth place, well, with a fourth place tie, of course. And then when it came time to go to the regional levels, then Nick and Stella were able to present their pitch videos that were then forwarded to going to the Invention Convention regionals at Wayne State. So which one of you would like to talk first? I told them to just be very conversational and natural.
So it's really mostly just really getting excited to design all this and just like getting a chance to start all this, because I definitely know I wouldn't have gotten this far if it weren't for the help of all the teachers and the staff. So that's the most awesome part, and the school board too, so thank you. And I'm just really excited to see what like the future has, and I'm like excited to see where this will go forward with a lot of the things in here, where this is like just a basic prototype, but it can obviously be a lot more if I can just have the time to work on it and the process to work on it with. So thank you.
What is your invention, Stella? Tell us what your invention is.
It really is like a clip, and it goes on your computer. It can hold devices like phones, so that you don't need to go through window and window to like change if you want to watch something and do the work on it at the same time. It's really just so that it's easier to hold up and stand with.
Nice. It's a great idea.
Then Nick, did you want to speak to you?
All right, so my invention, I placed first in for the inventor showcase at our school. My invention holds it's like more of a webcam holder. It's for more people that play video games, and I also targeted towards people that more teachers that play or do Zoom calls. Like, it's easier for them to show papers to kids online, because like I know Mr. Sean does a lot of online work at the high school, because there's a lot of kids that do online work. Just it's a lot easier for them to do that, to show their stuff. And then for gamers, like if they ever want to show off to their friends about how they can play a lot faster on a keyboard than they can or something. But yeah, I really like the idea I came up with, and I like the overall class. It was super fun. The Scamper project we worked back from was we had to find a problem, and we had to work back on how to figure out how to solve that. That was fun. It was a lot of, I came up with a lot of different things to do. I came up with like 3 different designs, and I had to limit down to one, which I thought would be the best. Mr. Sean helped a lot too, getting all my stuff ready for regionals, submitted all the videos for me I had to do, made them, and then she submitted all the background information. Just like thank you for letting us do the class this year, like at least accepting the class this year for our invention convention class, really. But it was super fun. I really liked it. That's pretty much it, yeah.
Sorry, Mr. Shen, can you just help the board understand and the listening audience just how many kids were competing? Because I think that it's amazing how far they went. So
Yes.
so Nick, you took first, right, at the regional.
The 6 through 8.
And how many students was he competing against?
Oh my goodness. How many do you think were there total? I would say
40, but like the age groups were different. Like they had like a high school of 9 through 12.
Okay.
I was the oldest one there by far. There's probably only 2 or 3 groups that were like similar to my age.
Uh-huh.
So it was like there was some competition, but I mean, I kind of think I had the best design out of them.
Oh, of course you did. You won
Yes.
first.
Yes.
Yeah, but we know there was at least 40 kids there. So like for them to make it into regionals, and now now the next step is they're going to
They're going to the
Nick's
States
invention is going to state.
on May 4th.
May
Yep,
4th.
May
And
4th.
that's held at the Henry Ford.
That's held at the Henry Ford. And so I just got an email today that out of the whole state, there were 1,400 students in the state of Michigan that that made it to the regional level. I don't know how many actually competed total. And out of that 1,400, 150 are going to states.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's pretty cool, right? Out of, 150 kids, for 2 of our kids to make it to the next level is very exciting. So they'll be headed along with us to Henry Ford Museum on May 4th. And again, just, they're gonna do, I think the greatest thing that you've probably noticed with both of them is that they're just so conversational. And I think that really has made an impact on the judges, because I think that that's what they want. They want to hear the students just be passionate and talk about what they did and just have it in kid-friendly language. So really excited, and regardless of what the outcome is on May 4th, I mean, what a cool thing. Very first year of the program, to have 2 kids already go to the state level is pretty impressive. So very excited. So thank you to the board for the support of the class, and excited for great things in the future.
Congratulations, Nick and Stella. We're so proud of you guys, and your inventions are awesome.
Yeah, great job.
Thank you.
Good job.
And Andrea. Andrea, I just want to thank you as well, because I know how much work you've put into the class. I know you were there shopping for the kids and everything, so thank you for all the work you've done. All right, we are going to move on to the Educators Rising Conference, and we have Mrs. Gray and her students here.
Back on. Okay. I took several students to the Educators Rising Conference, which was held at Wayne State. This was the first year for this program here in the state of Michigan. And I had one student that placed first place in the interactive board. Unfortunately, she was not able to attend tonight. And then I had Emily and Lucy that presented, and they won third place. So they've come here to show you their poster and how it works.
Okay, so when we went to the conference, we were judged based off of like a grid we had to follow. So a lot of them was like creativity. So we decided that we were going to take stuff that you could find maybe in your house. So like we have a lot of felt and stuff, and it's directed towards younger audiences. So you walk into a school and you see like all those bulletin boards. That's what it was kind of based off of. So like we wanted to make it interactive, and we were like, well, if we're going for younger kids, we want to make it feel touchy, because that's what a lot of kids like. Do you want to show them?
Yeah. So this is all very like custom. They can completely customize this garden. Like everything.
Oh.
They can put the stages of its life cycle of butterflies, so they can put the stages in order. Everything comes off.
So you can figure out like you take off the pieces and they have to figure out where they go. It's a lot of reading for like younger audiences, but it goes to like probably kindergarten to like 3rd or 4th grade.
And we're very proud of it. This is the project that Emily made.
Yeah. It took me way too long to make that, but I was like, yeah. So it is a lot of stuff. Like we made the butterfly out of just like paper, like colorful craft paper. The little caterpillar thing is like fluffy. Like you can get them at like Hobby Lobby, like those little, what are they called? Like boas. We have the other ones that are made out of, what are the little cotton balls? The yes, the pom-poms. They're called pom-poms. And also a lot of felt we use on the edges to create it like colorful. We wanted it to be really appealing for the children's little eyes, because they get bored easily. So if we give them a white board, it's not gonna, like, they're not gonna be interested in it. But with a lot of color, they might be more interested in it. So yeah,
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Great.
So
Did a very
it
good
was very fun. It was a little stressful, but we got it done in the end.
We did it. Good team.
Aw, I can't wait to see you guys in classrooms someday. I can't wait to see you as educators, so
Thank you.
nice job.
I will put in my 2 cents worth in regards to the 2 of them. They are awesome in the classroom with young children, both very involved in what's going on with the young children. They get down to their level, have the conversations, and are not afraid to interact and discipline and do what's necessary. So very proud of both of them.
You guys certainly seem like.
That was great. All right, I am going to now invite folks to come on up and talk about the ASU GSV Summit.
Good evening, board. How are you doing?
Hi.
Good, good. So first of all, we just want to say thank you for allowing us the opportunity to come and talk to you tonight. It was an amazing trip. Probably the main word that comes to my mind is it was overwhelming, just with sitting in a room with other people who care about kids, who care about education, and want to just make things amazing for our community and our world in general. It was a beautiful thing. So we're just going to share a few things tonight. I'm not going to be the only one talking. We're all going to share some highlights from our trip. So here we go. Sorry, am I in the way? Am I literally in the way of the beam?
Should we give Alan the
Can we
clicker?
just do this one?
You're good. Yes,
Okay,
you're good.
all right.
Okay.
All right, so the show really started before the convention started. We were supposed to be there starting Monday through Wednesday, but they had this like build up to it. They wanted to get people excited about it. A couple different things we were able to do. One of those that I did, I was not able to get there in time to do surfing. The ladies did. They could talk about that. But even before the conference started, there was something called the Air Show. Now, when you think Air Show, you're thinking, we're San Diego, military, naval, all of that stuff. It wasn't that at all. It was AI in reality, AI in the real world. So this Air Show was actually a convention before the convention that showed a lot of the tech that's around and in and already working, particularly in California. A lot of schools in California are already adopting a lot of these things at higher ed as well as in K-12 as well. So it was a beautiful time just to kind of walk through, mix and mingle. There were some sessions where our current school districts were partnering with Google, they're partnering with JPL, they're partnering with these different tech companies to do some really cool things for their kids. So it just kind of got things revved up for us as we got going, but there was also some fun as well.
Yeah, there was surf lessons. So there was 3 surfing lessons throughout the day, and everyone from the conference was invited to go, first come, first serve, and it was sponsored by Class Wallet. The CEO of Class Wallet spoke to us, and it was a way to bring people together and network with each other and get to know each other before the conference. And so we ran into people throughout the conference, throughout the week that, you're connecting with. We have our badge with our QR code and like zapping each other's badges and getting to know each other and networking with other educators. It was an amazing experience.
And today my inbox has been flooded
Yeah,
the last.
same.
It was nice to connect with
Yeah.
you. It was
Yeah,
great.
definitely.
And I'm happy to report we all stood up on the surfboard.
We did. And
Thanks
fell
for
a lot too.
wondering.
And fell a lot too.
We were out there in the action. That's what I'm really bummed about. We don't, those are the only 2 pictures that we had. But our bodies had the other proof of.
Yes, definitely.
All right.
And
No, go ahead.
no, I was saying, and then last was the opening reception. Just another opportunity to network before the learning really began.
So as the learning began, this kind of like word cloud just kind of shows like just all of our thoughts that are around what we were learning. A big theme of this conference was AI, right? Artificial intelligence, what it looks like. They really kind of flipped the coin on what we think and even how we use it today and how people are using it and we're not even using it. And so that's just kind of a little word cloud to show that AI can really kind of hit a lot of different things, and we'll talk about some of those, but really can dig into relationship bots. It can work with MTSS. It can work on social emotional learning. It's kind of a non-judgmental, kind of free friendship, if you will, where you can share your thoughts and it can help kids, teenagers, even adults kind of learn how to deal with feelings, anxiety, anger, all sorts of good stuff. So lots of stuff came out of that. Go ahead.
I was really happy. Yes, we went. It was AI and future technology focused, but I can say that I walked away also with don't forget the love and the passion and the relationships that isn't a part of technology. So yes, there's that push, but there's also that
Human connection.
And so that was a strong message as well.
So day one, we did school tours. We each signed up for school tours. I personally went to the San Diego Met High School. You 3 went to Design 39. I did not take a lot of pictures. They took amazing amount of pictures. So you're going to see those in just a minute. That's all you get with Met High right there. But it's this high school that's doing amazing things. It is within the San Diego Unified School District. So they're a public school within the larger school district. But their whole mission is to get kids into work and to get them starting to experience real world applications for education that they're doing through internships. So their day kind of looks like this. They've got tech. They're going to class Monday, Wednesday, Friday. They're in classrooms doing kind of your English, social studies, science, all of that stuff. But then Tuesday, Thursday, they are on the job doing internships with whatever they feel like they want to do in real life. So if they like kids, Then they get interns with preschools or elementary schools. And then they may realize, I do not like kids. I want to do something else. And they have that opportunity to shift and change. And there was one girl who even talked about, she didn't even know she wanted to go into radiology until she did an internship. And now she's on a path to become a radiologist. So it was beautiful to see how they were working with it. And my mind was blown with kind of like the process and how they had everything framed. And the foundation of that was something called advisory. Now we think advisory like homeroom, like it's just to get homework done. No, they spend an hour, teachers with kids and mentors, talking about how they're feeling, talking about their work, helping them plan, helping them prep, helping them do applications, helping them find their own internships, helping them have that internal dialogue that we all have with ourselves, working through that to kind of go, what's the next thing that I need? These students were amazing in what they did. And the other thing that's about this high school is they are very rigorous, but they don't focus on rigor. As a matter of fact, they don't like the word rigor. Rigor comes from the Latin word rigor mortis, like it's hard, it's inflexible, and we like to be proud of being rigorous, but really rigor is just you're hard, you're inflexible. Instead, they focus on something called vigor. What is energy filled? What is the thing that allows the kids to do what they want to do and put that high energy into it? And they're finding that with more vigor, they're able to tackle harder things. Design 39?
Yep. So we went to Design 39.
Yeah.
We went to Design 39, and the one thing it did do is really confirm the work that we're doing here with our strategic plan and our moving forward and combining both of our elementary schools and what we want that to look like, and the planning of our classroom spaces and our buildings. So we were really excited to know that this is affirming the work that we're doing and the move forward, the plans that we have for like our summer learning and just merging our buildings. And it got us really excited because of the information we can bring back with that and just show our staff, because that's one of the things that we plan on doing. But looking at the furniture, and that's the plans that we have. So you can see, we took a video of how they have tables that students work. They're not at desks, and that's what we want. But then they move their whiteboards, and they can move them up. So the learning is always visible.
And vertical.
And vertical. And like that's what we want our spaces to look like, and they're showing us exactly what that looks like. And their teachers aren't called teachers. They're LEDs, learning experience designers. And their office, that's why we put them up in the corner, it's called a welcome center. Their nursing room is called a wellness center. It's just a different way of thinking, and this is exactly what we want to move forward, and we're already working on with our strategic plan. So we really just loved the affirmation and being able to see it in action.
Yeah, we said often, we're on track, we're doing that. Oh, that's gonna happen once the buildings are together. It was, oh, we need to talk to Bree about those tables that flip up so that the students can collaborate, and learning's supposed to be public, learning's supposed to be transparent, and everybody's involved, and the people who are involved are doing the learning.
Yeah.
So they didn't call their students, they were learners. So the teachers were.
And down to the glass, like being able to
Yeah.
see into the classrooms and to see into all the learning spaces. It's everything that we are doing and have in plan. There's another slide too. This is how their teachers get an hour to work together every single day, but this is what our PLCs are. We don't have an hour every day, but we have that guaranteed hour every week, but they do have an hour that they can work with each other every day.
And they call that their design studio. And they collaborate between grade levels, over grade levels. So like Nicole said, every single day they collaborate for an hour. And they talked about a cross grade level. And one of the teachers that I met with in a breakout session said, I teach everything, but I don't plan everything. I have a teacher on my team who loves writing. I have a teacher on my team who loves social studies. She plans those lessons and shares them with all of us, and then I teach them, and I bring forward math. And so they really are working harder, not smarter, which is what we have been trying for so many years.
So we saw an example of one of their lessons, and they really just integrated all of the subjects together. So this was an art, well, some were art projects. They had to use a chemical reaction from one lesson and then turn it into some kind of art project. So those were 4 examples, and then the rubric there, but it was, they had to write about it, and they were all completely different. They were all in groups. The teacher, I'm not even sure where she was. She was somewhere in the room, but the students were just collaborating in groups, and they took the lead. It was It was great.
Yeah,
But
and they were making that sugar glass right in class, cooking
Yeah.
that right up.
yeah.
Wow.
Like cooling it, breaking it. I loved it.
Yeah.
It's just more of the different work that just shows everything was student-centered and student-led by student experience is what we really are looking forward to, and these are just different pictures that showed it.
And then the top one with the 3 red rectangles, and that was their success criteria. And as soon as I saw it, because we've been doing that at Park Lane, and it was like, oh, yep, we're doing that. It was awesome. It just felt so good.
So the rest of the day kind of rounded out with sessions, different keynote speakers, and there's just some pictures of them. What were some of the highlights for sessions for you?
I think the superintendent one we went to Nicole was very cool. LA and Gwinnett when he was talking about AI.
Yeah, so in LA, they have an AI person robot that's called Ed. So they have it in their school, and they're going to put it out to over 40,000 students, but it is a robot AI that's called Ed that is helping the students and the families with everything. It will schedule appointments for parents. It is a personal assistant for students and parents, tutor. It's available 24/7, but they made it very clear that this is not to replace, it is to help provide that free appropriate education that every child deserves and to give that access because truancy is at the all-time high, especially where they're at. And they're just really showing all the different ways that AI can help. And so, because there's this fear that people will be replaced, and they really made it clear, we can't be replaced, but this is a way for us to use it as a tool to really give that education that every child deserves, no matter where they're from.
And they said we won't be replaced by AI, but we will be replaced by those who know how to use AI better than we do.
And speaking of that, in the top left corner was one of the sessions I went to, and that's can we be friends with chat bots or relationship bots, and that's using AI like an AI friend. And some of the keynote speakers also touched, AI was like the theme there. But when they started talking about the ways we can use AI for MTSS, it could be a tutor to the student. It could be an assistant to the teacher. It gives time back to the teacher so that they can actually do the teaching and learning along with their students and less of that paperwork. The AI can drive that. With social workers, being able to assign an AI friend to the student who really needs to talk but is scared to share because there's judgment, there's other things that just scared. It allows them to kind of work through that. So there was a lot of talk and discussion about how this stuff can really work within our schools, for our schools, and how we become experts of using that as a tool that gives us our time back as educators so that we can focus on our students and kids. Day 2, thoughts?
I mean, Common and his mom, who knew that Common's mom was a principal in Chicago who was a doctor, and she wrote a book on how we can support students in this technology-driven world. So she was amazing to hear. NFL players, Goldie Muhammad, there was just amazing people doing amazing work.
Ruby Bridges,
Ruby
right?
Bridges was day one. To then come back to our Scholastic Book Fair with a book from, about Ruby Bridges and to have seen her in person and just the inspiration that they're bringing, to this conference. If you love Stedman and Oprah Stedman's book about identity leadership, which just really spoke to us as leaders in, the person,
That was that joy again of having that joy and love of why you do what you do.
Goldie Mohammed as well. She's like an edustar. She wrote 2 books, Cultivating Genius and Unearthing Joy, and she has 5 principles about building your lessons and teaching around, and their criticality, knowledge, intellectualism, but those are some of them. But the big one for me was joy, bringing our joy back to teaching and back to learning, and having the students, like Stedman talks about his identity and knowing your identity and leading, having that strong leadership, but our students need to know who they are too. So it's amazing.
So kind of the big piece for us at the very end was this FLC debrief. We went as a part of the Future Learning Council and on their scholarship, and we sat there, and you can kind of see the 3 photos kind of in the middle and down below. And this is a group from Michigan who has teamed with Michigan Virtual, and the work that they're doing is just what's the future of learning look like for us in Michigan? And they are doing this work to try to bring in these ideas, these tools, these people, these experts to bring to our schools and school districts to where we can begin to implement them, right? Begin to put them into our next steps. As a matter of fact, we're partnering with Dexter and Celine Schools, other leaders that we were there with, to connect and see what are they doing, what are we doing, what are some ideas we can share together and take a look at. So that debrief was probably actually one of the biggest points for us, because they were literally going, what did you get? What can we bring to Michigan? What can we bring to Michigan? Who can we bring to Michigan? And so that they're doing that, and not only that, they're also going to our representatives saying, here's what we need within our education here in Michigan. Here's what California is doing. Here's what some of these states that are advanced and have all of these connections, how as we as Michiganders do this for our kids as well. So that was a great time, just talking amongst ourselves about what we can do to bring things
And
back.
making those connections with Celine and Dexter. We've already reached out this week, trying to set up visits, trying to
Looking at their MTSS.
There are-
River graduate.
There are like-minded school districts, and it's thanks to Val for finding FLC and making us a part of that, because what we were hearing there is a lot of people at this conference, they fly over Michigan because Michigan is not ready, where all these other states are, but the FLC is. And so we are so thankful, and we are realizing that more and more to be a part of this. And that's where our strategic plan and our Portrait of a Graduate came from. So it's felt so good to be a part of something so important and to be so future focused.
And I will say, plug for us, Dave Richards and FLC, they knew exactly who we were, came over and gave us a hug. We were front
We
and
were still
center.
thanking people at the airport. We saw Michigan Virtual people as we're getting on our plane, like, thank you so much. So,
So real quickly, what are next steps that we're going to do for our schools?
Magic School AI.
Yep.
That's one of our slides. I know we don't have much time. Well, Amira is a AI bot that is a tutor for literacy for kiddos. It's tailored to what our students need. It has huge effect sizes with Hattie. It covers all 5 pillars of literacy. It lit me on fire. I was so excited about it. I can't wait.
Chase is working with us to
Yeah.
to
And then
see-
Magic
see
School
how to make it
AI.
happen.
This is just like a half of my screenshot of what Magic School AI can do for a teacher. AI should be our personal assistant. It should be doing all the mundane, boring tasks that take us away and suck the energy out of us, and we need to give it all back to our kids. So it can generate rubrics, it can generate class lists, assignments, level text, create text. It can send emails. It can do everything for us, and we should be using Magic School AI.
So
all
we've
day.
already shared that with our teachers, and then, like Nicole said, just making sure that we're using our new building and using that space and using the furniture and making sure that we're using everything and making it learner-centered.
and we've got those meetings, with the partnerships from the other schools, so we can partner with them on our future forward work.
For the high school, what we're going to be doing is spending some time this summer with some of the school leaders, whoever want to be a part of some discussion, almost like a book club, where we're going to be really digging into what AI can do for us and for our learners. A big part of the discussions moving forward is going to be about what is the vigor that we're putting into our lessons, what's the vigor that we're putting into our school, and how is that going to help us achieve high levels of success, not the rigor, but the vigor. Finally, we're going to have to expand work-based learning. We're going to have to expand the options that we're doing. I mean, I know we got direct college, we have dual enrollment, but we have got to get our kids into internships so that they can know, or at least have an idea of what they want to do after they leave us. We do a disadvantage when they go to college going, I don't know. It's okay if they don't know, but they should have an idea of where they can start looking. So that's what we've got in front of us. Yeah, or what they don't like, right? So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can I just add a thank you? I just wanted to, with this being a televised meeting, I wanted to really thank the Future Learning Council of Michigan Virtual University. It's so awesome and inspiring to hear you guys come back from this and know that you're going to implement this work in our buildings, and it's exciting. But, this is not district funded. This is through they went on scholarships that were provided and supported by Michigan Virtual University and the work of the Future Learning Council, which we're a part of, and we're one of few school districts in the state of Michigan that are a part of that work. So we are doing really great, innovative work here in Groseal, and something to be super proud of. but it's with the help and the assistance of folks like Michigan Virtual that believe in us and believe in the work that we're doing in our district and are continuing to support us. The last 2 years, I've offered up the scholarship to our folks that sit on our district leadership team. And I think we still have a couple members of the district leadership team that will want me to advocate for the scholarships again next year. And then the hope is obviously that we need to get our educators out there as well. And so, we'll try to pursue some other grant opportunities and ways, because Michigan Virtual is obviously going to, the scholarships are going to run out at some point for Grosse-Ile. So we're going to have to find other funding sources out there that support this work in the district, because I think it's important that we can expand this outside of our district leadership team and expand it to our educators that are with our kids every single day and to be inspired like these guys are coming back. So I just wanted to give a public thank you again to Future Learning Council and Michigan Virtual for believing in the work and for leading the work and taking us along with them. So thank you, Nadia.
Yeah, and thank you all of you for taking the time out of the day-to-day. I know that's really hard, but it sounds like a great opportunity. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Great, thank you. Okay, so we're going to move on to information and discussion, and the first thing that we'll be discussing is the bond RFP, so I'll turn that over to Val.
And I will turn it over to Colin.
Thanks for being here, Colin.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for having us. I also have DeMaria here. The first thing I will be going over is a recommendation for the Grosse-Ile Elementary Playground Design and Construction Services. We issued an RFP via public bid, advertised in a local newspaper, and posted on the State of Michigan website. We did receive 5 proposals. We conducted interviews for this. They were really important in the decision process, talking through the designs that they proposed. In that specifically, we talked about the project schedule, which is also really important for this school to have access to a playground next year while construction is going. So that was a big impact in our decision-making process. So for the final recommendation, we are recommending Lawton and Associates LLC for a total amount of $362,000. That includes hard construction costs of $325,000 and a contingency of $37,000. And that contract would be A105 pending district legal final approval. Any questions on that? All right. And this is an update and recommendation for the Grosse-Ile Elementary Additions and Renovation Bid Package 2. We had advertised this for bid publicly, again in a local newspaper and on the Michigan website. We got 17 proposals over 6 bid categories. And then previously in Bid Package 1, we were not able to award 4 of the bid categories. So we are including 4 of those that we've previously discussed as well. So the total recommendation is for 10 bid packages, hard construction for a total hard construction of $6,780,748. CM fees and costs for $336,032. Construction contingency of $498,175 for a total recommendation of $7,614,955. This will be added on to, this will be detailed in a GMP amendment to DeMaria's current contract. And as to note, there will be 2 non-union contracts that the district will assume for the flooring and the asphalt. It did come in great news on bid day, right about where we expected them to come in, and keeps our budget situation exactly where we had discussed previously. Any questions specifically to the bid? All right.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone, for your time.
Thank you. All right, I am going to ask Dr. Carter to come back up to talk about the HOSA International Leadership Conference.
All right, thank you, Board. I am going to do a little bit of reading here for some information, and then we'll be done quick. This comes from Stacy Metzger. She's our health science advisor, along with Rachel Gazzardo, and then Don Dameron and Tammy Munro, who are from other schools. But they're extremely proud of the hard work and dedication to the students for mastering their healthcare skills for their respective events. 6 students from our HOSA DCTC classes have earned a spot at the HOSA International Leadership Conference in Houston, Texas, by placing the top 3 of their event. So out of those, or actually they will be competing with over 10,000 future health professionals in their chosen category. So of those 6, 3 Huron students, 2 placing 3rd, 1 in respiratory therapy and 1 in nursing assisting, and 1 placing 2nd in CPR first aid. Then we had 1 from Carlson placing 2nd in CPR first aid, and then 1 from Flat Rock High School placing 2nd in nursing assisting. The 6th and final student is our very own Grosville High School senior, Chloe Lash, who placed 1st in sports medicine. So we are excited to have them go. They're going to be staying at the Hampton Inn in Houston downtown. DCTC is able to cover the cost of the student hotels and fees. Students will be responsible for their airfare, conference registration, and food while attending the conference. So we're super proud of our students, specifically Chloe, for placing 1st. So that's the information to share.
Great. Any questions?
No, but this is a really good feel-good night.
Yes.
Okay? I mean, I sit here and I'm like, seeing you guys and your enthusiasm for that trip that we were so blessed to be able to get, and then all the other students, just kind of warms your heart that we're doing the right work, okay? Keep it up. That's awesome.
And we will be voting on that later this evening. Okay. So let's move on to consent grouping. Can I get a motion, please?
I move that the Grosse Ile Township Schools Board of Education approves the consent grouping items as presented.
Support.
This is for the payment of the bills for the period of March 1 through 31, 2024, in the amount of $1,773,005.15, and the approval of the minutes from the March regular meeting, the April work session, and the April closed session.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries. All right, we are going to move on to action items. The first thing that we have is a transportation bid approval. Can I get a motion, please?
I move that the Grosse Ile Township Schools Board of Education approve the transportation contract with Auxilio as presented.
Support.
And this was discussed in the work session. There's a, potential cost savings from our current provider, and we think that the shift is manageable, right, to Auxilio.
Yeah, and just to be clear, this is actually the board, this is for the listening audience. This resolution is asking the board to give myself authority to negotiate the contract with Auxilio, which is going to then open up the opportunity for Auxilio to sit down with our drivers and answer any questions that our drivers have, so that we can work out any kinks. And then we'll be bringing the actual contract itself, after it's been reviewed by legal counsel again, we'll be bringing that back to the board at the May work session for approval. So this is authorizing me really to enter into contract negotiations with Auxilio.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries. We'll move on to fifth grade camp.
I move that the Grosse Ile Township Schools Board of Education approves the 2024-2025 fifth grade overnight outdoor environmental education field trip as presented.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries. All right, next up, we have the trip, the 2026 trip to Korea. Can I get a motion, please?
I move that the Grosse Ile Township Schools Board of Education approve the 2026 foreign travel to Korea as presented.
Support.
And Mr. Batishil came and presented this in the work session. The trip is for June 2026, and it will be through World Strides Tour Company.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries. All right, now we have the playground bond recommendation approval. Can I get a motion?
I move that the Groseal Township Schools Board of Education approves the bid as presented.
Support.
This is the hard construction cost of the playground at $325,000. Contingency fee of $37,000 with a total cost of $362,000.
Okay. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries. All right, next we have gifts to the district.
I move that the Groseal Township Schools Board of Education accept the gifts to the district as presented with thanks.
Support.
And thank you to Mildred Yancey for $400 gift to be used to support the high school boys golf team.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries. Thank you so much to Mrs. Yancey. All right, we have the authorizing resolution for the sinking fund. Can I get a motion, please?
I move that the Groseal Township Schools Board of Education approve the proposition as presented, and this is for a special election on August 6th to renew our sinking fund.
We get someone to support? Support? Any discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries. All right, can I get a motion for the fiber optic RFP?
I move that the Groseal Township Schools Board of Education approve the fiber optic maintenance bid as presented.
Support.
And this is for $73,650 to Amcom Telecommunications. It's an E-rate bid. It was discussed in the work session and in Finance Committee. $7,500 of this will be for our annual line inspection, and the balance of it is to be used as if needed. It's a 40% reimbursement through E-rate, and then the balance of it is through sinking fund.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries. All right, and then the last one that we have for this evening is the HOSA overnight field trip. Can I get a motion, please?
I move that the Groseal Township Schools Board of Education approves overnight field trip as presented.
Support.
And this is the HOSA Leadership Conference, traveling June 23rd, 2024 through June 30th, 2024, in Houston, Texas. Approximately 6 to 9 students. Cost per student is $250.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries. All right, we will move on to the superintendent update.
It was a really great night. Thank you all for presenting. I also wanted to congratulate Chloe Lash for qualifying for HOSA International. I think that's a pretty significant accomplishment, and we're super proud of her. I also want to congratulate Stella and Nick for making it past the regionals. That is a huge accomplishment, and I think they were kind of underscoring exactly what accomplishment they actually were able to make. So we're excited for them. I just wanted to tell everyone that we have You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown coming up this weekend. They have already performed at our elementary schools, which was really fun. Middle school is headed there this week to see that as well. And so I just encourage everyone to come out and see You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown this weekend at the high school. I wanted to thank everyone for, we just came off of state testing. There's actually still state testing going on, but it really takes a village. And I wanted to, state testing moved to online this year. So there was a huge transition for our technology department. So I wanted to thank our technology department in Chase. It was a very seamless, and then the coordination that happened with our leaders, our principals. And then I also wanted to thank our administrative assistants and counseling departments at every level, because it is a huge undertaking that those individuals do to make sure that state testing goes off without a hitch. And so just really grateful for everyone that's helped with that. I wanted to just say we're excited that our 8th graders are going to be visiting Wayne County Community College to sample all of the DCTC offerings. We're hearing a lot about DCTC tonight and how great our kids are doing in those programs. So excited that the 8th graders are going to be able to visit that. And then I also, construction has started over at the new Groseal, the site of the new Groseal Elementary. We're starting to get construction fencing up and things like that. And so I know the neighborhood there are starting to ask questions about who, what, when, where, and how. And so any of the listening audience, just wanted to let you know, we are posting construction updates regularly on our website. There was also flyers that went out and were put in mailboxes around the current Park Lane neighborhood. But if anyone wants to know about the timeline or the hours that there will be any disruption with noise or anything like that, or what's happening, please go to our website. Go to there's actually a QR code on any of the postings that if you go to that QR code, it'll take you right to the bond update portion of the website, and you'll continue to be updated along the way. And DeMaria, our construction management company, is continuing to do those regular updates. So I just wanted to let the listening audience know that that's where you can find construction updates. This is going to be going on until fall of 2025, and so we want to make sure that our families and our, the residents of our school district, we're being good neighbors and that they know what to expect. So that is happening as well, and that's all I have for tonight. And congratulations, everyone that was recognized.
Great. Thank you, everyone. Meeting is